Alright, so in honor of the Grammy Awards just taking place, I think it would be fair if I made a video like the Grammys, but with anime characters. And speaking of the Grammy, let me know down in the comments if you think SZA deserved a Grammy. Cause you know, me personally, I don't got a problem with her, but before I knew who SZA was, I thought this was her.
That you're a musician.
Yeah, I'm not no musician. I make music.
Bro, y'all can't tell me y'all don't see the resemblance. But with that being said, let me welcome everyone to the Anime Grammy Awards. This thing on? Alright, what's good everyone? I am your favorite host, known across the YouTube verse, Shinzo himself. And I will be announcing this year's Anime Grammy winners. So this is how it's gonna work. There's gonna be 3 main trophies for this video, and they will be split into 3 different genres. Those genres will be 1, most impactful character, 2, most likable character, and 3, the MVP trophy, which will go to the best overall anime character of 2023. Now with that being said, let's get it. Alright, so anime's most impactful character. I think we all have an idea of who that just might be. And just like that, let's welcome Thorfinn onto the stage. And honestly, I don't even really have to explain why he's such an impactful character. Like, really just go on TikTok and look at all these edits. But I'm gonna do it anyways because it's the Anime Grammys, why not? But 2 good things right off the back about Thorfinn is that he can box and he can use talk no jutsu, like 2 in 1, that's OP. So he already has 2 options. If he doesn't feel like fighting, he'll just talk you out of it, like some Naruto type joint. And then if he does feel like fighting, he's just gonna beat you up. But let's get into the first exhibit of why this man is such an impactful character. And before we get into the major things, we gotta cover his background story first. So Thorfinn, he's really just your average kid, you know. He loves playing with swords, loves play fighting, and he wants to be the best at what he does. And you know how little kids be. They'll walk up to you with a straight face and tell you that they gonna go to space and they gonna conquer the solar system. Like, what? You know, me being the D1 hater that I am, I'll really tell them straight up that you're probably gonna be working a 9 to 5 at McDonald's when you get older. So don't get your hopes up, little bro. But anyways, Thorfinn's dad was a dog. And you know how I just know he was tough without even seeing him in action? This man's name is Thor. Yeah, you heard me right. His name is Thor. Nobody can be trash with the name Thor. Like, it's just impossible. But this part right here may not seem like a big part of the show at the moment, but it'll come to your attention in the future, trust me. He put his hand on his son's shoulder, like he was about to give him the talk. But instead, he wanted to give him this loving message that he has no enemies, and that no matter what you do, you shouldn't kill. Man, that moment had me feeling like I just got done reading the Bible. He hit Thorfinn with the Luke chapter 6 verse 27 through 28. And yes, that verse actually relates to what bro just said. You should read it. But to close out Thorfinn's backstory, we gotta end with his father's demise. So there was this OP dude named Askeladd, and he was hired to take Thor off the map. And the people that hired him were gonna do it, but they just really were scared of this man, like they was running from the smoke. But Thor, they going down an alley in the river, and out of nowhere, they get jumped by all these archers. And instead of dodging and weaving like the warrior that Thor is, he took mad body shots by these arrows. But nah, let me not do him like that. But before he died, he low-key caught a couple bodies. He was cooking, you know. He went out in a good way. It wasn't all that sad. But even though he went out in a peak way, that doesn't change the fact that Thorfinn just watched his father die right in front of his eyes. And obviously, he was really traumatized. So he followed the dude that killed his dad, and he was with him for years. Almost every day, he would challenge Askeladd to battles and battles and battles, and he would lose every single time. Like, it wasn't even close. It's kind of sad when you think about it. Like, how your record against one man, like 100-0. But you can't even be mad at him. I respect the grind. He took Never Give Up to a whole nother level. But we're gonna go to post time skip, when we saw Thorfinn as a teenage boy. And I've never seen so much change in one person, to the point that it made me scared. He went from this innocent young boy to this, I don't even know how to explain it. Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault I broke my heart on my sleeve. Had Thorfinn in his little depression emo stage for a while there. But we're not gonna waste time on all the bodies that this man Thorfinn has packed up, because honestly, if I did that, it would take years. Instead, we're gonna focus on Thorfinn as the king's royal guard. Well, before he was king, he was Prince Canute, and he was tasked with protecting the prince from the whatever these dudes were. But yeah, it's safe to say at first they didn't really get along, but as they started spending time with each other, they started getting a little bit closer. And Prince Canute, I honestly thought was a girl at first, because he was just so wimpy. He looked like a girl, acted like a girl. No offense to my ladies, but he did. Just everything about him, it would not scream prince at all. But as his time with Thorfinn went by, he started becoming a better and better prince, and eventually growing to become a king. If you haven't watched Vinland Saga, you may be wondering why I'm focused on him so much, because he's a crucial part to why Thorfinn is such an impactful character. But we're gonna go to the end of season 1, where Askeladd started murking everyone for absolutely no reason. I had no idea that he had this dog inside of him. And this moment right here was before Canute was the king. So he's Prince Canute right here. And then Askeladd slices the head off of the king, therefore making Prince Canute King Canute. Then this is the sad part, y'all. Moments later, he gets killed for killing the king, and he's dying and bleeding out on the floor. And Thorfinn, this is where his character changes so much, because he's dedicated his whole life to beating Askeladd for killing his father. So seeing Askeladd dead on the floor, it's like he just wasted all those years of his life for nothing, just to never win one battle against Askeladd. So that is why the beginning of season 2, that Thorfinn is a slave, because he's lost his way and doesn't even have the courage or any motivation to fight any longer. Because in all seriousness, Thorfinn is pretty much suicidal at this point. He's just living his days being a good slave worker. I'm not gonna lie, he was low-key moving them logs. He even made a friend on the farms, bro. But then, this is where Thorfinn starts becoming the impactful character that he is. So yada yada yada, a lot has happened since we got to this point. And he's also grew a lot as well. Like, there was a moment where he was in front of all these people and they were beating him up, and he wasn't doing anything about it. He was just letting it happen. And with that moment right there, that brings us to the present where we are right now. He is getting ready to stop this war. See, this is why I was talking about King Canute a lot. King Canute was coming to this farm that Thorfinn worked at, and he was going to burn all of it and destroy all of it. And then the people that worked on the farm, they was low-key fighters, so they was getting ready to go to war with King Canute. And to give y'all an idea of how strong King Canute is compared to these farm workers, it would probably be like your Discord server that you are in going up against a presidential army. Yeah, it was that bad. So Thorfinn was going to end this by going up to King Canute, because you know there was bros back in the day. So he was gonna go up to him and try to use that talk no jutsu to stop him from doing this. But before he could get to King Canute, of course, there were people protecting him, because nobody can just get to a king. Before he could talk to him, these people said if they can win against him in a fight, they'll let him go. But you know, Thorfinn isn't about that life anymore. He doesn't want to fight anybody, so he just made the deal that if he can survive 100 punches from this dude, that he can go talk to King Canute afterwards, and he agrees. So, few punches in, he's getting whooped, obviously. 100 punches in, he's still getting whooped, but he's still on his feet. He endured 100 punches, even though it would be easier if he just fought back and whooped they cheeks. And someone realized this, so the king's strongest soldier asked him why didn't he just fight back. Thorfinn said, "Easy, because I have no enemies. And why would I fight against someone who I have no grudge with anyways?" But he talks to King Canute, and he has a long talk no jutsu conversation with him. And I'ma say, it goes a little bit like this.
Yo, bro, can you leave the farm real quick?
Nah, bruh, they took my Legos.
I triple dog dare you to leave this farm right now.